Hi, this is Demetria Clark, the Director of Birth Arts International, and I just want to take a few minutes to thank you all for the work you're doing. Even if it's not in the dynamic that you're used to, you're still making a difference. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about support in the time of COVID-19, or these tools can be used for other times when support may be different. So as we all know, support has been spun around and spit into the universe. We are all trying to find new ways to support our clients. And I just want to apologize really quickly if you notice my eyes moving. That's because my notes are right next to my camera and I have to read them. So I'm like doing a little quick and dirty here. See, I'm in the corner of a room, and the studio that we were building is on hold. Like, everything's on hold. So we are trying to do the best we can. We're not in our regular space. We're all trying, just like everyone else. So first and foremost, this is a time for us to learn. It's time for us to learn how we can make a difference right now. We can improve our communication and connection skills with our clients right now. And these are skills you're going to be able to use forever. So let's get that out of the way. This is not an optimal situation. This is not a time for us to only see the bad. We are learning skills that are going to help us as birth workers for the rest of our lives. So the first and most important thing I want you to learn is to learn the power of your voice. You can still call, video chat, and listen to clients. You may find now that you're relying on the sound of your voice more than ever before. You may need to look into different tools you can use. So some tools, sorry, I have a stray hair that's just driving me crazy. You can rely on your sound of your voice, and that in some instances is going to have to be enough. Your voice is the most important tool you have right now. Some tools that you can look at, Microsoft Office Teams is offering it free for the next 6 months. There's tools like Zoom, Facebook, GoToMeeting. Look into those things. You may find something that will benefit you and your clients. You're going to have to learn and research universal precautions. We have some information in some of the courses, but look, you're going to have to learn how to do this. This is something that your world and culture are now starting to expect of you. So you can find this information at websites like OSHA and the CDC. They have tons of info, but you're going to have to learn how to glove and unglove, how to wear a face mask properly, maybe even a face shield. Now is the time for you to learn how to clean your clothes, your shoes, anything else that you're bringing in from the outside world. You may need to offer more email and text support. If you have great links to offer clients and are doing phone support, put them into a note file on your phone so you can cut and paste them into text as needed. Having these resources with short descriptions will save you a lot of time, so you don't have to write the same thing over and over again. You may need to learn more online. You may need to learn how to access more resources for yourself and for your clients. You may need to take some virtual childbirth education classes. We've been posting a link to Kate Dewey's class. You want to look into breastfeeding meetings, La Leche League. Kimberly Weiss-Lewitt has a link in our classroom. You want to use ethical and responsible sources. We'll put them up when we find them. If students put them up and they're good resources, then we'll leave them there. But you may need to, look, even if you've already done your meeting requirement, you may need to go refresh. So go do this now. You're going to be offering all different kinds of support. Get your tool bag in order. We may need to make more and different kinds of handouts to have for clients. Positioning for when clients are alone. We have some images in our classroom. Use them. Look, as a birth arts student, you're kind of a handout expert. So use that skill. You may need to compile your handouts and have them on a drive so all your clients can access them. Having things like this available for your clients is going to make your life easier. We don't know how long this is going to go on. My brother works at Columbia, and I usually don't share lots of personal family stuff because I like to really keep my family protected. But my brother works in pathology, and he's not hopeful that this is going to end anytime soon. My father's a doctor too. My aunt is a nurse practitioner, and they all feel like we all need to be on top of these kind of skills. So use the experts when they're available. So I want you to really start thinking about resources you can have available for your clients. We may need to teach partners virtually how to offer hands-on support. Look, I have this lecture about our hands. Listen to it. Look, if you put your hands on anyone's body, you will find when your hand fits. Keep that in mind. Teach that to partners. You may have to talk to them about connecting in different ways with themselves and their partner. You're going to need to remind them of the power of their voice, their touch, what they can expect from birth. Remind them if their partner doesn't want the tools at the time, or they're like, don't touch me, stuff we all hear as doulas all the time. I don't want that, or I don't like that. It has nothing to do with them. Remind them that their partner may be in a bubble and they don't want anything breaking into their shell, and that that's totally normal. Have them remind their partner to do things like eat, offer their partner snacks if it's allowed, drink water, remind their partner to pee, remind their partner that things like nausea are normal, throwing up is normal, squirty poop is normal. Remind them that these kinds of things are things that you would normally do, and you're giving them the information to do it now. You may need to have more nutritional tips and nutritional resources available. Get your WIC resources, your food banks, farmers markets, local meat, cheese, egg, and dairy producers. You may want to have them look into vegetable boxes that can be delivered. That was one of the things we did for our kids. So I kind of had a bad feeling about this a long time ago and stocked up, but I sent my kids some stuff, and of course, they think I'm silly half the time, because they're my kids and quite frankly, they're supposed to. But, everyone was just kind of like, you're being goofy. And I just kind of went with my gut and figured, what's the worst that can happen? Believe me, I didn't go out and buy 40 cases of toilet paper. I was like a cleaning supply and access to food kind of person. I know that soap and water kills most things. And I know I can use, an old sheet cut into squares for toilet paper if I have to. Former cloth diaper mom here. So, I wasn't, freaking out about the toilet paper situation. But, this has taught me that a lot of things get freaked out about. And a lot of things get bought out of stores quickly. So having these resources for your clients, boxes like Misfits, local CSA boxes, access to different kinds of services. You want to have that information together. And we have you make a resource list. So you may have a lot of this done already, but you may want to add to it. Food insecurity is going to potentially be a huge problem. Food prices are going up. Access to food is changing. Parents are sitting there thinking, I don't want to go to the store because I've got little kids at home and I don't want them to get sick. So having these kind of resources and a lot of services are starting to deliver. So I live on this little tiny town in Florida, and the Meals on Wheels people and the different, food banks are doing house-to-house delivery. And part of that is just to minimize risk for everyone. So those things may be available for your clients too. You're going to want to talk to them about how to disinfect their food. Most things can be washed with soap and water, and that works perfectly well. And part of the reason why that is that the soap actually breaks down the sheath that protects the virus, and then the virus kind of explodes. And you can read more about that on the CDC's website. I'm not going to retell you things that you can look up yourself online. My husband, who's in IT, has a joke that says, when people ask questions that they can easily find themselves, it's called "Let me Google that for you." So if you have a question like how to clean something, don't ask me. Go to the experts, go to the CDC, go to OSHA, go to your state Department of Health website. I'm going to tell you soap and water, blah, 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 blah. And I can tell you what I do, but you really want the experts. And I clean everything a few times a day. My husband and I haven't been leaving the house for ages, maybe almost a month now. No one who does work for me or contract work for me, just to let you know, is going without pay. I just can't do that. So we're doing the best we can here, but when it comes to things that you can find an expert resource on, use that. Okay, you're going to need to talk to clients about remaining active, and they may not want to. They may be sad. Their whole future is different than what they'd been planning for this whole time. They may just want to sit on the couch, watch Netflix or, Hulu or whatever. Netflix didn't pay me to say Netflix. But you need to talk to them about how that affects their fetal position. And so encourage them to, quote, work out a few times a day. And really all that is getting up and doing something for a few minutes. But, talk to them about doing it more than once a day. Have them set an alarm every 2 hours. If they're really I'm staying on this couch and I'm, let them do that, but tell them look, you need to set an alarm, and every 2 hours you need to do 10 minutes of yoga, or you need to hang out on your birth ball, or you need to turn on some music and dance. You need to do something else. Now, of course, if they have little kids, this may not be their reality, but if this is a first-time parent or a parent who's really struggling, we need to remind them to get up and move, because that's better for their baby. Crawl around on the floor with their toddler. There's all different kinds of things they can do. So some things are yoga, swimming if they have a pool, taking walks, using a birth ball. These will all help relieve stress also. So the reality is that this movement isn't just going to benefit them in labor. It's going to benefit their mood now. You may need to talk to clients about keeping their house super clean. Remind them to wash their hands, even if they're home all day. Clean surfaces a few times a day. And I hear you. We need another reason to pick up after everybody as parents. But we may need to make this reminder. It could save their lives. We need to remind clients to laugh. Laughter is a great way to promote immunity. So laughter, orgasm, smiling, cuddling with people they love. These are all things that can really help their immune system. So What is that? Funny movies, jokes, whatever the heck makes them laugh. If they are like, oh, I don't want to watch that, I have the worst sense of like morbid humor and I'm so embarrassed, then tell them, look, you do whatever it takes to make you laugh. Morbid sense of humor, fine. I like dad jokes. Whatever floats your boat. But get people to laugh if you can. I mean, obviously, if they have a sick partner or sick child, it's kind of weird to be like, find a way to laugh. But even if they're entertaining their child and they're laughing with their child, they're promoting and strengthening their immune system. So we really want to do that. We want to give them tools that they can actually do. There's no point in saying, go into a comedy club and stay 10 feet from the other person. Not a good idea. All right. You may need to, more than ever before, express to clients that they need to be patient. They may be sitting there thinking, this baby just comes out, everything will be fine, we can go back home, I don't have to stress. Unless the baby is like dangerously post-dates, staying at home, laboring at home as long as possible is a great option. We did send out, and I will post the links, some information to our email list about finding a local home birth midwife. So you can go to websites like NARM, MANA, some CNMs will do home birth. And you know what? Ask them to ask their doctor. Their doctor may. In some states, their doctors can. They just haven't in a long time. But maybe that's something they can do. So these are totally different times. So encourage them to just ask. We don't want to encourage clients to just, out of fear, do things that maybe wouldn't be best for them. And you as a doula, do not act as a midwife. Not only will you hurt midwifery in this country, you will hurt doulas, and it's incredibly irresponsible. That's way above your pay grade, okay? So I've said it. So you'll have your resources for connecting them with the home birth community. You want them to be patient with themselves. The longer they can labor at home, the longer they can put off going into a facility, really the more at ease they potentially will be. They need to check in with themselves. So they need to communicate with their baby. They need to communicate with their body. And they need to be patient. Interventions, as we know, increase labor times potentially and cause more interventions. And right now, in this environment, we want to be as interventionless as possible. Sorry about that. It seems like once I get on camera, my face starts itching. So I'm allergic to the camera. So they need to be patient with themselves. We want to really encourage them to take care of their needs. You may find that you are a person they vent to about their relationships, their fears, being stressed, overtired. Don't give advice. Look, you're not a relationship counselor. You can offer suggestions, solutions. My big tip is, look, if your partner is at home going stir crazy, give them a job. If you're going stir crazy, give yourself a job. Give yourself something to do. And by doing something, you get to feel more in control. So remind them things like take a bath, soaking in the tub. It's really good for your blood pressure. It's really good for your stress levels. Taking a swim if they can. Going on a safe walk. Doing yoga, dancing. Any of those things can help them alleviate stress. You know, we used to live in Vermont, right? and the winters could be horrible and the kids weirdly wouldn't get an opportunity to play. So my husband and I had a old refrigerator box that we'd store in the basement, and that would come out, and it was like for dance-offs, and the whole family would do a dance-off, and my husband would pretend he had breakdance moves and all this stuff, and we'd tag each other in, and they were really little, but it was good for all of us. So I'm not saying moms should, or birthing people should like suddenly dust off their breakdancing skills, because who knows if you can get up from some of those positions later. But, just things like that can really help. Remind them to nourish themselves. Look, these are all really important things to do, and you may need to be that person that they can rely on. So, pull from your training. I know a lot of you sit there and see the activities that have to do with water or infusions or taking a walk, and some of you get mad at me. And that's totally okay. But there's a reason why they're there. Sometimes it's not always evident, but guess what? Now you can see why they're there. And it isn't to punish you or make you do more stuff. It's more work for me, people. But it teaches you what things like that can do, so you can talk to your clients and help your clients stay healthy. Talk to clients about nourishing themselves and help them understand they are a whole person, they are powerful, and they are strong, just like you. Encourage them to print out a list of emergency contacts for them if they are alone. This next part is hard for me to say. All of this next part is pretty hard, because the idea of someone who doesn't want to be alone, being alone, is really hard on all of our hearts. Encourage them to print out a list of emergency contacts for them if they are alone. Have them print out with a phone number, a medical power of attorney, their partner or parent. So if they are alone and something happens, the facility has someone to call about medical decisions. Have clients bring an extra phone charger, extra clothes, snacks, supplies, anything they need. If they are alone, have them bring an activity that they can do alone, like knitting, a device loaded with movies. Look, not all these hospitals are going to have Wi-Fi available to our clients. They're overloaded. I know what my brother's dealing with. I know what my dad's dealing with. And no one is going to care if they have access to Wi-Fi. Everyone's running on empty. And I don't say that to be mean, but this is life right now. A book, a deck of cards, you get where I'm going with this. Have them bring snacks, their own water if they want. A nurse is maybe not going to be able to come in and bring them water when they need it. They need to think of these things. They need to triage for themselves. What do I need right now? And they need to be very aware of what they may need. And you may need to help them with that. Remind them of the power of water. Taking a shower if they can. Compresses. Even sitting on the toilet. Using a washcloth to wipe themselves down. Many hospitals may not have their birth tubs as an option, because normally they need more than one staff person in there, in case the woman faints or the person faints or anything like that. So, that beautiful birth tub may just sit empty, and that's a reality. So, talking to them about things that they can do, a little lavender sachet that they can, smell, or some lemon oil, or look, to help with nausea, which works better than peppermint. Look, even if they bring some lemon slices in a Ziploc bag that they can smell, that's going to help with nausea. Give them practical solutions. Don't be like, oh, you need to go buy this expensive essential oil, or you need to go do this. Give them real, tangible, practical solutions. Reminding them what happens during labor. Look, they may have taken a childbirth education class. They may have done all the work, but that doesn't mean that it's all there when they're in labor, because their body is doing so much. So remind them that it's normal to have bloody show, nausea, vomiting, chills, sweats, fear, hopelessness, feeling powerful, exhaustion, anxiety. These are all normal. Remind them to check in with their baby during pregnancy and labor. Ask the baby what's up. Remind the baby they love them. Stroke their belly. Feel for differences. If they feel like something isn't right with the positioning, remind them things like hands and knees, using the birth ball, lunging. These are things they can do alone. You can have a solo client download a reminder app, and it can remind them to drink, pee if they have to, eat, rest, move around, take slow, deep breaths for a minute. Remind them to not focus on the machines in the room. They make all kinds of noises, and they don't tell the client anything. So remind them that they need to focus on themselves, go in themselves, find that power, find that strength. Remind them to let providers know if their gut says something is wrong. We read story after story of birthing people begging for care, begging to be heard, because their body told them something was wrong. If they feel a dramatic shift in their body, tell them to report it. If they start bleeding heavily or enough where it worries them, do what it takes to get attention. If their face or limbs start to swell or they lose sensation, get attention. If they have a hard time breathing, get attention. They can download an app that makes like an alert noise or a siren. And if they can't breathe or they need help and they can't reach the call button, most people have their phones near them at all times. They can turn on that app, crank the volume, and slide it into the hall. Hopefully that will get someone's attention. An emergency whistle isn't a bad idea. I mean, obviously, we don't want our clients being like, I need a glass of water. Woo-woo! That's not going to endear anyone. But if they're really feeling like they need help now and no one is coming, that will get someone's attention. No one thought we would be here. So virtualize as much as you can. Practical solutions. Preparedness. Tools. Provide those. Don't be afraid to bring up a subject because you're worried about worrying them. They're already worried. They're already sitting there going, what if something goes wrong and nobody comes because there's not enough nurses? They're already thinking this. So give them tools. I'm not saying, freak anyone out, but people need tools. Now, I noticed this morning as I was making this, writing this out, my notes, that Kate Dewey did a COVID-19 preparedness lecture too. And she's a trainer for birth arts. I will share that link also. And I haven't gotten an opportunity to check it out yet. But usually everything Kate does is amazing. So I want you to check that out. It'll either be on her personal Facebook or her website, Let It Be Birth. And I'll try to make sure I have a link to that. But here's the thing. If you find out that you can still go to your facility because it's not in a super infected area and they're needing only certified doulas, we can offer you, if you've done a good amount of work here, a provisional certification letter. And so basically that letter states that you've completed a certain amount of assignments or you are waiting for your packet to be reviewed. And so we do that to try to help you. Obviously, there's only so much we can do. Try to maintain a sense of humor and try to be helpful. The only thing you can do for clients is right now in so many ways is be a resource. So be that resource. Be that trusted advisor. Do the very best you can to help them. So I'm going to let you go. This has been going on probably way too long for you. But look, stay safe. You know, I know people are like, oh, she says sending big love, you know, gosh, that's cheesy or whatever. But because I do all the student contact and do all the grading, and I know I don't know you all, but I do feel a connection. And I really care about what happens to you. So stay safe. Overdo it when it comes to disinfection and cleaning yourself and keeping your area safe. Eat good food. You know, if you think you're still going to be going to births, you know, you may need to be stronger than ever. So lift weights. Do your squats. Get strong. This is your opportunity to get strong. Say to myself, if a 250-pound lady or birthing person faints, can I hold them up? And work on that as your goal. Do the best you can. Because you want to be as strong as possible right now. And when you strengthen your body, you're releasing stress and anxiety. And it can help your brain function better. So, from the bottom of my heart and all my love, take care of yourselves. Have a great day.